How to speak English fluently and confidently. In this English lesson, I'm going to share 3 tips to help you boost your English fluency and confidence, so stay with me until the end. If you don't know me very well, hello, I am Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, yes, because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. So consider subscribing. If you have already done so, I appreciate if you smash that like button. But let's talk about tips to help you boost your confidence. One thing that I like to say right off the bat is these tips will only work if you do the work. So stay consistent. The key to English fluency lies in being consistent. So if you're not consistent with your practice, it'll be very difficult to notice improvement, okay? And here on my channel, guys, I help students at a pre-intermediate and intermediate level. And at this level, you may be able to communicate a little. Yeah, that may be possible. Yes, maybe you talk a little, you understand a little, but you constantly feel like, I feel too nervous, the words disappear, and overall, you don't feel like you're there. Like, I achieved the fluency that I wanted, that I desired. So this is very common at this level. You're not satisfied completely. There's more. And I believe you, and I understand you. I've been there. And with the right strategies, you can boost your confidence, you can boost your fluency. Fluency and confidence are different things, so we need to work on both. Oftentimes, students think, but when I achieve English fluency, I'll be confident. No. I have worked with many people who had amazing English skills, but because they were not confident, they were not fluent. They couldn't speak. So it's important to work on both, okay? Now, that being said, this is something that I do with my students, and I will share some recommendations that I share with my babies, my BSA, babies are in the area. I like to provide my students with a combination of activities that are designed to unlock their fluency and their mind. Okay, so I work on both. We need to do things to unlock your English fluency, English skills, listening, reading, writing, speaking, but we also need to unlock the mind. And why? Because fluency starts in the mind. To build your confidence, to build your ability to use your English, okay? We need to work on the mind, on the emotions. Because if you don't have a good management of your emotions, of your emotional intelligence, you could have amazing vocabulary, you could have great pronunciation, your comprehension is good, but when it is time to speak, because you didn't work on the mind, you will be stuck. And I have been working as a teacher for more than 17 years. I can tell that I have seen countless cases of students who had a blocked mind, okay? So it is a combination of working on English skills and on your mindset. Because as I said before, you could live abroad, you could study for years, you could have a private teacher, you could have a speaking partner, and nothing is going to change if you don't understand the right combination of efforts, English and mind. We need to work on your fluency here, okay? Because fluency is a mental attitude. With the wrong English strategies, this is the danger. Because you need to study English, of course, and I'm going to share the recommendations here, okay? It's not just, just be happy. No, that's not how it works. But with the wrong English strategies and the wrong mindset, you will be stuck for a very long time. And I don't want that for you, okay? Now, that being said, let's focus on the English first, okay? I'm going to share some tips, but my first tip is connected to English. And if you make this, you will lower your confidence because you will not sound as fluent. Consequently, you will feel bad. And as you feel bad, your confidence level drops. Confidence is about feeling good about yourself in a positive way. I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, in a realistic way. So if you make this mistake, it'll be difficult. So my tip number 1 is to watch the sound you make between words or while you're thinking. This is very typical at a pre-intermediate and intermediate level because you learned structure, you learned grammar, you learned some vocabulary. But probably in many cases, you didn't learn how to put things together. You didn't practice your English speaking alone. So your brain needs a long time to process information. And then what happens? And then and this, my friend, it doesn't matter the person you're talking to. It doesn't matter whom you're talking. Okay? It doesn't matter the person you're talking to. It doesn't matter where you are. The person listening to you will make some kind of facial expression that will show you that there is something wrong with your English. And consequently, your confidence level, will plummet. Will go down, 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 under. Okay? So we need to work on this. This is English. This is not confidence. This is not emotion. This is pure English. Okay? So if you tend to use a lot of filler sounds, even filler words, native speakers do this, but it's not pretty. Like, and then, and like, and so, and like, this is not beautiful. You will not sound confident if you do this. You will not sound confident if you use this. You will not sound fluent. And if the person listening to you show a little bit, a small little sign of discomfort, of lack of comprehension, that will trigger your mind. And you will associate that facial expression, that response to you. And that will lower your confidence. It doesn't matter how good you feel about yourself. But when people do that to you, that will lower your confidence. And if you're watching this video, it means you are not so confident yet. We can change that. You don't feel so confident when speaking the English language. So we need to monitor this, okay? Watch out for the sounds you make. These sounds will make you less fluent, okay? Now here's an idea. An efficient way to work on this is to do a speaking under pressure task. I do this a lot with my students in my academy. 3 times a month, we have some kind of live activity. And during a specific kind of lesson, a group conversation class, I invite my students, the active students, and they have a moment to practice their English speaking. I make observations, corrections. I talk to as many students as possible. It's a great environment, an exclusive environment that I only have with my students. And what is one exercise that I like to bring very often inside these lessons, in these live activities? Speak under pressure. I prepare a series of questions, okay, not so easy questions, and then I set a timer. And in this timer, I set a timer to 1 minute. And then as they speak, in this case, they have me, Mama Sardine, so I pay attention. That's my nickname inside the academy. I pay attention to their mistakes. I pay attention to their mannerisms. I pay attention to the they make. And then at the end, no time to finish. Okay, there are other things that I observe when they're doing this. I also test their ability to be objective. Fluency is not about speaking a lot. Fluency is about sending a message and being clear with the message you're sending. So you don't need to speak for hours to make that happen. So I also monitor that and I provide them with feedback about that. And this exercise is really useful because in your case, you're studying alone, not in my academy, and even with my students in the academy, if you're watching this and you are a BSA, you should also do this. You will record yourself. You will set a timer and you will practice answering 1, 2, 3, 10 questions with that purpose of eliminating filler sounds or filler words. This is very important. You need to start practicing mindful silence. Be comfortable with silence. When speaking, students are so worried, so anxious about immediately finding the right words that they feel rather uncomfortable with being quiet. So they start using these sounds, and all the internal dialogue is also a consequence because in many cases, you're doing a lot of translation, you're going back and forth with your language, and that causes a lot of confusion. And all this mental confusion will be translated into confusion here, spoken confusion. And that's not what I want for you. So this practice will help you, because as you listen, because you should listen to yourself after you record it. Okay, what were the moments when I didn't pause? What was I trying to say? Oh, I don't know this word. Okay, so I should discover what this word is and better prepare myself. Guys, this is really good. I do this too because I sometimes use filler sounds. Of course, I do this a lot too. I have to monitor. So I record myself and then I listen and I pay attention. Okay, I used a little here, a little there. Let me pause. So be intentional with the silence. The only way to remove these annoying sounds is by being aware, by being mindful of your silence. And you can only do that in your practice. So this is my favorite speaking practice to help you boost your fluency so that you speak more smoothly, even if slowly. Don't worry about being slow. Worry about being wrong, about being, exaggerating sounds and being confused, sounding confusing to the person listening to you. That's what I worry the most. Okay, so watch that out. I think this is an amazing exercise that you can do consistently. It'll help you with many different things, but one thing I like the most is this: reduce filler sounds and words that are not necessary. And in some cases, students even use words from their native language, which is also really bad. Okay, now second thing, work on word formation. This is grammar and vocabulary. If you want to sound more confident, you will need to reduce the number of mistakes you make. Now, one thing that I like to mention at this moment is fluency is communication, not perfection. We will never speak perfectly, 100%. We make mistakes. I make mistakes. We need to be understanding of this condition as a non-native speaker. We make mistakes. This is it. That's why we study, so that we get better, okay? But this mistake in particular will make you sound less fluent. And as a result, the person listening to you may also react in a way that will make you anxious, that will make you, I think I made a mistake. And that in turn will make you feel less confident. Less confidence, you will not perform the same way because your confidence level will again plummet, okay? Now, using words incorrectly will make you sound less fluent. Students at this level confuse words. Again, at a basic level, you learned a lot of information, and now at an intermediate level, you need to learn how to put information together to sound fluent and confident, okay? Confidence is a result of using information as correctly as possible. We can't escape that. We make mistakes, and in our practice, we try to correct them and improve them. But when it's real life, the more mistakes you make, the more filler sounds you use, the more anxious you're going to feel, okay? And as I said at the beginning, fluency starts in the mind. Many people don't work on their mind, so this is also a problem, which is something that I often talk about here on my channel. But what's the catch here? The confusion is verbs and nouns, adverbs and adjectives, This is the most common one at this level. You learn a word, but you don't learn how to use the word. So what's the point? Oh, this is a nice word, but you don't fully understand how to use the word. And that's when you begin to make mistakes. Mistakes that in a conversation, let's imagine a job interview or a meeting, a presentation, or maybe you're having an informal conversation with someone on the street or at a party, you will feel less confident because depending on where you are, someone may correct you in a way that you will feel a little uncomfortable. Not in a nice, welcoming way a teacher would, but in a way like, what? No, it's not that, And that reaction may make you feel a little upset, okay? So it is important, this is grammar and vocabulary, to work on understanding how to use the words. This goes beyond translating the word, just getting the definition of the word and moving on to the next one. No, spend quality time studying the new words you pick for the week, okay? So one thing that I like recommending my students is always create meaningful examples. So I learned a phrasal verb. Okay, bow out. I learned a new phrasal verbs. Awesome. Okay, I got the meaning. I read some examples. Not mine. I checked some examples in different dictionaries. Now it's time to connect. And this is the part that students fail to apply. They are disconnected with the word. And how do we connect? By creating examples, forcing the brain to create, not simply copy the definition from a dictionary. Create an example, but this example has to be meaningful. And how do we create a meaningful example? By connecting the example to your life, describing something important that happened to you, describing your interests, your opinions, your view of the world. This is how you advance. That's what fluent people talk about. We also talk about silly things. Yeah, of course we do. But when studying vocabulary, always try to remember this, that I need to connect my practice with something more. Otherwise, it's going to be a list of words that you will forget pretty soon, okay? Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you're interested, I have an amazing study plan cycle that will teach you how to have an efficient study plan, a study routine. This is the key to fluency, okay? You want to be fluent? Well, start with the way you study. Start by being better organized with your activities. And that's what I teach in my study plan cycle. Check the link in the description of this video. But other than that, you support the channel by subscribing. Let's go to tip number 3, shall we? Watch your body language and internal dialogue. This is where we get to the mind stuff. And we have a combination of body language. How do you see me now? Do you see me as someone confident? Do I come across as someone confident? Or do I come across as someone who is insecure? What do you think? Okay? I'm not saying that I am the most confident woman in the world. Woo! I also have my challenges. I also have my traumas, okay? But what I'm trying to explain to you is that whenever you're having a conversation with someone in English, or whenever you have an opportunity to speak English to someone, watch your language, but the body language as well, not just what comes out of your mouth, but what comes out of your body, your eye contact, your facial expressions. If you are exuding anxiety when speaking, how do you think your confidence will grow? Again, you could travel abroad, you could go to Harvard like I did. I studied at Harvard. You could have private teachers, you could have speaking partners, you could live in America. If you're constantly exuding insecurity, if your shoulders go down like this whenever someone doesn't understand your English, how do you expect to grow? So fluency is here. And watching your body language will be a key factor to helping you boost your confidence. You could be amazing at the English language, but if your confidence level is low, it'll be very difficult. Internal dialogue. Okay, I said something. The person listening to me didn't understand. What is my immediate reaction? Do I panic? Oh, look, I'm tensing. I'm tensing my face muscles because the person in front of me showed that they are not sure they understood what I said. So what is your reaction? And then what is your internal reaction when you're having a conversation? Oh my God, this is so hard. I don't know how to say this. Please, please, please don't ask a difficult question. Please. Oh my God, this is so hard. What? I don't know how to say this. Oh my God, this is such a difficult question. Is this what you're thinking? When you should be thinking of, okay, what can I say? How can I be objective? I can do this. Let's go. Bring it on. You need to boost your confidence by believing in yourself. And this starts in the mind. But if you're having a conversation and while the person is talking to you, you're already thinking of failing. You're already thinking it's impossible or too difficult or that you're going to fail. You will not boost your confidence. You could improve your fluency. You could have better delivery, better performance by studying more, by following better recommendations, by getting my study plan cycle. But if at the time of speaking, there you are in front of the interviewer, in front of your manager, in front of a friend, in front of a tourist, and your shoulders, and you start to tense, you start to fidget, you know? How do you think your confidence will grow? So fluency is a mental attitude. If you want to boost your confidence, you need to pay attention to your behavior when you misunderstand people in conversations, when people ask you a difficult question, when there is a word you don't know. One thing that I learned in neurolinguistic programming is that everything is feedback. So when I am making a video like this, when I am in a conversation, when I am in a conversation with someone and I fail, I make a mistake, everything's feedback. It's not good or bad, it's feedback. What can I do to get better? What can I do to improve? What can I do to do more next time? This is my vision. It's not like, oh, Priscilla, duh, okay? So it's excitement. It's like challenge accepted. And you need to have that mindset, okay? So start paying attention. And I know it's hard. I know it's a challenge. But if you want to get out of the intermediate level, you will need to step up the game. You will need to challenge yourself more. But always understanding that your mind plays a big role on your journey to fluency and speaking English confidently, anywhere, anytime. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with someone. But other than that, I'll see you next time.